What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we are going to be doing another My Team video, lads, and this is going to be ranking the best promos. So we're going to be ranking all of the promos in My Team, and just for a reminder, we do have the promos all up here in case any of them are forgotten. And fan favorites too. This promo right here, I couldn't get the picture for it. I could not get the fan favorites too or the next picture, so I will end up going over them at they will be going in at the very end. So I could not, unfortunately, get the picture to put them into the tier list. So first and foremost, we're gonna go Clutch. And Clutch, if you guys don't remember about Clutch, Clutch was the first set we got this year after the season tip-offs. West was good. Ingles doesn't count because he came out in the new year. Jordan, though, was terrible. Jason Kidd was not very good. I'm pretty sure Reem actually was out during Clutch. I don't remember him being very good either. Kobe, they took away his range. Ray Allen was probably the most effective player in the set for his time. So I'm gonna, this set wasn't very good. I remember, as far as I'm aware, I used Kukoc in budget squads, and sometimes Robert Ory and Ariza, and sometimes Kawhi, maybe Rip Hamilton. A few mediocre budget players. I'm putting Clutch down here in D tier. That was a really weak set. Okay, next up we have got the old Double Take set. So Double Take was a set of a bunch of players that basically were on teams that people didn't remember them on. So you'd have to do a Double Take. So I don't understand why George Gervin for the Bulls, because I think everyone kind of remember George Gervin play for the Bulls. I know he's best known for playing on the Spurs, but still. Yeah, so this was the set we had. So Dwight was good. D Rose was very good. Karl Malone was decent. Hakeem was decent. Hakeem was actually good. Kemp was really good as a budget player. I mean, for his time, Hito was not awful as a budget player. These guys were good for limited for a while. Ewing at his time was usable. So for Double Take, I'm gonna put Double Take in. I'm gonna put Double Take in A or B tier. Double Take is a good batch. I'm gonna put Double Take in B tier for now, but it might get moved up to A. Okay, so then we have got the tactical downgrade set itself, the Enshrined set. The good old Enshrined set. So if you guys don't know about the Enshrined set, it was known as the tactical downgrade set. Basically, all of these guys, Wes Unseld was only available in Triple Threat. Sorry, not Triple Threat, in Spotlight Sims. Wilt was super expensive. Any good version of Wilt was super expensive. Any good version of Larry at the time was super expensive. Tracy McGrady was super expensive. So was Shaq. So basically all these guys were super expensive. And they just gave us downgraded versions of them. And then obviously the 3 Dark Matters. I don't mind this set, but it really wasn't great, especially for its time. I came in right before Season 7's Spotlight Sim, so I'm going to put him in C tier. It wasn't a bad promo, but I mean, we're looking at the best promos of the year. I don't think it was great. But it did come with the 3 Invincibles, though. We can't forget. It did come with the 3 Invincibles, but no one pulled any of those first 3 Invincibles. Really, did anyone pull any of those first 3 Invincibles? Then we got Fan Favorites. So Fan Favorites is going to go into... I liked Poke. I'm going to go Fan Favorites in A. Because Fan Favorites had Thon. It had Poku. Roko. Poku and Roko for your budget guys. For your extreme budget guys, Mo Bamba was not bad. These 3 were kind of irrelevant. Isaac was great. Thon was great. AD was pretty good. LeBron was still pretty good for his time. So I'm going to go A tier for Fan Favorites. Then we got Final Set. So the Final Set was an interesting one. So it had one really great budget player in Bruce Bowen, a decent budget player in Chris Bosh, a player who could hold every badge and could become one of the best point guards in the game in Byron Scott. You had a bad Pau Gasol, a bad Bobby Jones, a mediocre LeBron, a mediocre Magic, a mediocre Moses. Actually, Moses was good. When you put clamps on Moses was really good for his time, and Clay was really good. I think for the hype that this pack had, I don't think I can justify putting it above C tier. This was one of the most hyped packs there was, so I don't think I can I don't think I can put it above C tier, honestly. It was an okay pack drop despite being one of the most hyped, and their lock-in reward was terrible. Chauncey was horrendous. Okay, so then we have got Flash 1. And Flash 1, we actually do not have. Flash 1 were these guys right here. And then the glitched players were John Stockton. That would go into A tier, honestly. John Stockton was the glitched player. This would be an A tier. The Brandon Roy one, but it is unfortunately... Oh, sorry, tier. This is going A tier. This was a game-changing set. This really was a game-changing set. Like, John Stockton, Kevin Durant were really, really good. Even though Dia was a beast as well. Scal was okay. Brandon Roy wasn't great, but I mean, he was probably the least relevant player in the set. His set was fantastic. Not quite top tier, but I mean, not far off. Then we got Flash 2. Flash 2 was Gilbert Arenas, Oscar Robertson, Richie Guerin, Andre Karolenko, and Daryl Dawkins, and Robert Pack. I just want to check what other cards were in this. Hey, Tim Duncan was the other card from Flash 2. I don't think this was a bad batch, but it wasn't as good as Flash 1. I'm going to put that in B tier with double take. Like, that was not a bad batch at all of cards, but again, it didn't have any outs. Like, Duncan was good, but I mean, Duncan wasn't John Stockton. I'm just going to put that out there. For his time, Duncan was not John Stockton. Then Flash 3, however, this was a game-changing set. So we had KG, who was a lot of people's best big man in the game. One of the better big men. Zion, Monte Ellis, Googs was good, and Nick Anderson was fantastic. This set right here is A tier. It's pushing S tier. It is pushing S tier. I might... Like, Zion was arguably the best card in the game. Monte was arguably the second best point guard in the game. Nick Anderson was the best budget card in the game. Screw it. I'm going Flash 3 in S tier. I'm putting Flash 3 in S tier. That might be overkill, but I'm going S tier for Flash 3. Okay, so then we have got Flash 4. Flash 4 is Giannis, Jamal Crawford, Rudy Gobert, Rudy, Tyler Hero, Gerald Green, and Manute Bol. So, this was not a great batch. Like, he was alright. Like, the cards were good. It's not going... This might have to go into the clutch category. I'm going to put it in D. It was alright. What was one of the most hyped batches of cards we'd seen, because everyone thought it was going to be his god tier Giannis. It really was very, very average. It was a very, very average batch of cards. So, then we have got the old Flash 5 set. So this was the Flash 5 set, and the glitch players in this set were Isaiah Thomas and DeMarcus Cousins, as far as I'm aware. I think they were Isaiah Thomas and DeMarcus Cousins. I just need to check what was released on that date. And Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz was a beast as well. So, this set's going high. This set is going high. Rebranded Jimmy Butler, Thurl Bailey, Markelle Fultz, and Boogie Cousins. I mean, it's pushing S. It is pushing Flash 3, but I think Flash 3 for his time was a little bit better. But man, it's pushing Flash 3. That set was incredibly good. It was incredibly good. Then we got Flash 6 right here. Flash 6, I just need to see who the players were in Flash 6. So it was Dino Raja and Melo with a glitched, with Jeff Petrie, Glynner Ice, Brian Russell, Kyrie. This is a good set. This is a good set of cards, and Glynner Ice like one of the first affordable half-range players. I'm going to put Flash 6 in for his time with no absolute standout cards. I'm going to put it in B tier, but this was a well-rounded set that just didn't have any, like, quote, best cards, for lack of better words, like best cards of the game, like arguably best cards in the game players. Then we had Flash 7. Flash 7 was an interesting one. It was a very interesting one, because you had KPJ, Malik Sealy. Harden sucked, but then you had these two big guys. And Steve Nash was alright. With the way the heroes were, with how good Malik Sealy and Kevin Porter Jr. were for their time. These bigs were the best bigs in the game for their time. Do I? I think I might. Flash 7 going into S tier. Flash 7 is going into S tier. Malik Sealy, KPJ. Like, the only weak player... Ronald Murray. Let's not forget how good Flip Murray was. Like, let's not forget how great the greatness of Flip Murray for his time. He was unbelievable. Then, we have got Flash. The next Flash set, which is Wilt, DeRozan, Rondo, Ingram's okay. Duma was good. Halliburton was good. Wilt was good. DeRozan was good. I mean, DeRozan was argued the best 2 guard in the game. Wilt was argued the best center in the game. Duma was one of the best budget cards in the game. I'm actually going to move Flash 7 down. I'm going to move Flash 8 up 1. Flash sets, like, outside of, like, the Flash, the Giannis Flash, we've had really good Flash sets. We've had really, really good Flash sets. So I actually think that's not a bad thing there at all. Then we have Flash 9. Oh, Flash 9. Am I forgetting something? This Flash set, oh my god. Kristaps, Paul George. Invincible Harden wasn't that good. But Robert Reed, Mikal Bridges, Kristaps, Paul George, James Wiseman, and DeAndre Jordan. Oh, S. This is the best set we've seen so far. I'm going to put my Flash. We've had... The Flash sets have been the best this year. I did not realize how good they were. Okay, then we got Gladiator. Gladiator was... I mean, disappointing. It really was. Like, Kobe's the best player in this set, and he's a opal. None of the diamonds are spectacular. None of the pink diamonds are spectacular. AD was good, though. Oakley wasn't good. Kobe White wasn't great. Clay, Siakam, Draymond. I get it. It was the start of Season 8. It was... You got 3 Invincibles in this set as well, by the way. You got Kevin Durant, T-Mac, and Wade. The only T-Mac and them were really spectacular. I think for its time... We have to take these into account for their time, and the fact that it was almost impossible to pull any of the Invincibles. I'm gonna put Gladiator into D tier. So next we got Flash Glitch, and I know there's so many Flash Glitch. The only Flash Glitch that I'm counting as this promo are the ones that were released in the day of the Flash Glitch promo. I'm counting that as an entire promo. So you've got LaMelo, Lonzo, and Ben. Okay, so you got those 3 guys right there that were good cards. Mirasan was cheesy. Dino was good. There's no spectacular cards here. Like, there's really no absolutely spectacular cards. But there's a lot of good budget options. There's no spectacular cards, but quite a lot of good budget options. No real bad cards. I'm going to put this beside finals. I'm going to put this down here in C tier. I don't think this was too bad a set, and it did come with Invincible LeBron James. So, yeah, that is where we're going. Then we have got... I obviously dragged these in at the wrong time. So I've got Age of Heroes, Golden Age as a... Do I have the Modern Age one? No, I'm just gonna not do Age of Heroes because those cards all came out in other ways. I'm not gonna do Age of Heroes, but we're looking at this one in a bit of a weird way. So for Idols Series 1, we have got all of these guys right here, and I think Neek was decent for his time. KD was good for his time. Grant was good for his time, and they got a good reward. But because of the how overpriced they were, I'm gonna put. This is actually Idol Series 3 right now, so Idol Series 1 is gonna go into B tier. I'm gonna go B tier for Idol Series 1. Idol Series 1 VIP. This set, obviously they're in all different sets. I mean, Cooper, Porzingis, Francis were irrelevant. Ibaka was relevant. Darren Williams is one of the best cards in the game, but I mean, the VIPs of this set, I mean, for how many cards there were, let me put that into C tier. Yeah, let me put that into C tier. Idol Series 2 is the most obvious inclusion ever. F tier. This is our first F tier. This set right here. Anthony Davis was great. Don't get me wrong, Anthony Davis was great. Yao Ming had 60 speed. Westbrook was terrible. Melo was terrible. Kevin Durant was okay. But they cost so much, and it was part of the game. It was part of 2K halting every bit of momentum my team had. It was part of 2K. Like, we legit thought 2K were sabotaging themselves with Idle Series 2. Honestly, it was that bad. And Series 2 VIP, I mean, is there any, outside of Bosch, is there any game-changing card outside of Granger? I don't mind it. There are a lot of cards, obviously, to choose from. So I'm going to actually put the Series 2 VIP in here. And in Idle Series 3, I mean, considering the fact it kind of half saved midweek packs, I'm actually going to put Series 3. I'm going to put Series 3. Well, it had a lot of weak Invincible cards. I'm going to put Series 3 in C. But I'm actually going to put Series 3 VIP in B, because I actually think those Galaxy Opal cards are really good. And we don't even need to see who those guys... Well, I'll show you who those guys are now. I actually think Series... Idle Series 3, as far as Tuesday packs, was actually pretty good. Like, these guys were pretty... Like, I like Kawhi. Kawhi's the only one that I would choose to use, and Jokic was a bad reward. But the Series 3 VIP were really good. And we got a lot of great cheap opals here. We really did. I really did like Idle Series 3. I thought that was a... that was a nice old addition. That was a nice addition to it. So, anyway, now let's get on to the next one, which is Inferno. Oh, like we know Inferno, Hondo, best card in the game. T-Mac, unbelievably good. LeBron, unbelievable. JR, unbelievable. Ben Simmons, first time, was good. Kristaps was good first time. MPJ, Aaron Aflalo, great for your budget, guys. Jared Jack was exceptional. Ronnie Brewer was exceptional. So, lads, Inferno, no brainer, get into S tier. Inferno belongs in S tier. A game-changing set. Game-changing set. There's no point even talking about Invincibles. Mysteries. There were a couple of good mystery cards. Don't get me wrong. Like, Dia was good. But, I mean, let's be real. Who cared? Who cared about these midweek packs? Like, Dia was good. Vassell was good. Joe Smith was alright on next gen. Darius Miles was good on next gen. I mean, that's about it. It's about it, isn't it? Mystery, get into F tier. Okay, so then we got the draft set. Draft set were these guys right here. It was Anthony Davis, Anthony Davis, Brandon Ingram, Ben Simmons, Glenn Robinson, Luka Doncic. The NBA draft set, this is one of the worst sets we'd seen in a long time. It really was. Glenn was good. AD was pretty good. Simmons sucked. Ingram was not great. Ingram was underrated, but he wasn't great. And Glenn was great, though. So, I'm going to go C tier for draft set. I think that's where that belongs. And then draft rookies, by the way. This set would be down here. This set would be in F tier if it was not for the completion award Cam Reddish. Like, if it wasn't for the Cam Reddish glitch, this set will be F tier. Because none of these guys were good in game. Not one of them were usable in game. They were terrible. They were terrible when they came out. Literally, the only saving grace was Cam Reddish. So draft rookies is just about going ahead of Idle Series to a mystery. It's just about based on Cam Reddish. If Cam Reddish wasn't so good, or if the Cam Reddish glitch didn't exist, it would be gone. So then we got Dunkers. The Dunkers set, Jackson Hayes obviously came out way later, but he was actually alright. But Spud Webb, John Wall, Des Mason, Larry Keenan with a lock-in award, Josh Smith. For Tuesday packs, this was not bad. This was actually not bad at all for Tuesday packs. So I'm going to actually put that in C tier. Especially for early Tuesday packs, it's not bad at all. I don't know what international extras are. International, though, this is one of the worst sets you've ever seen. Like, Wiggins is alright. That's it. The rest of the cards suck. Wiggins was okay. International, get down to F tier. This is one of the worst packs we had ever seen. I do not know what international extras is. Okay, there's enough of these that I can... Basically, there's just plenty of these. I'm not counting this as a set. I'm not counting this as a set. This is going to go down with Age of Heroes. I'm not counting that as a full set. Okay, so then we have got loyalty packs. Loyalty packs had Hondo, who was terrible. D-Rob was alright. Dame was terrible. Udonis Haslem was terrible. And Steph Curry was mediocre with Sam Jones, their award. mean, I know they were Tuesday packs. They were bad. They were bad, lads. Okay, then we got Sleepers set. I mean, I liked Micah Red and Millsap. Their reward Milton was alright. Jokic wasn't great. Isaiah Thomas, DeAndre Jordan. Just about enough to get off out of F tier. I mean, these next is now midweek packs were rough. Then we had team ups. These packs were so bad that 2K put them in season 1 super packs. CP3 though was good. Don't get me wrong, CP3 was good. Kevin Love wasn't. Wilt was terrible. Ray Allen was alright. Marcus Camby was a shocking reward. Team ups, they'll go F. Back to back. Oh, lads, let's not forget about this awful lock-in reward. The awful Dennis Rodman lock-in reward. But just because I have a bad taste in my mouth because I locked in for Rodman and then after getting Rodman decided I wasn't going to lock in for anymore. We can't forget, Iggy was okay. Kenny Smith was actually pretty good. Bailey Howell was probably the best power forward in the game. Lamar Odom was not great but not awful. And Isaiah Thomas was alright. So, I think at this stage... Look, I'm putting back-to-back in C tier. Those 5 cards were alright. They were alright for their time. They really were. So back-to-backs going to C tier. Playoff Dimers. Now, this is what we call an Elite Tuesday pack. Doc Rivers was exceptional. Like, Doc Rivers was class, lads. He was so good. Then Sleepy Floyd, if you had a little bit more MT. And then Stephen Nash wasn't great, but Webber was good. And then Draymond, one of the best collection awards. This is, without question, the best of the midweek packs for Season 1. It's going into B tier. It's hard to put a midweek pack into A or S tier. But it is going into B tier. And I think that that is a fair spot for it. Then we have got playoff records. Dirk was terrible. Jordan was terrible. Eaton was terrible. Allen Iverson was terrible. Parrish was terrible. And Derek Fisher was a lock-in reward who is a 6'1" point guard. Playoff records get into F tier. Get into F tier, lads. That's all I'm going to say. That was a shockingly bad group of players. Playoff stoppers. Bill Walton was not great. But Doug Christie was decent. Gary Payton was an alright reward. Ben Wallace, man, he was the gatekeeper for Dr. J for the longest time. But this pack, this set right here, because it was out so early in the year, I'm going to put it in D tier. But it wasn't good. Playoff underdogs. So, Dikembe was the best big man in the game if you like big centers. Mashburn could hold almost... I'm pretty sure, could Mashburn hold basically every badge? He could hold range and he could... Yeah, Mashburn could hold every badge. So if you found the badged up Mashburn, even though he did only have 70 dark weight, he was good. Steven Jackson. Badged up Steven Jackson was a god. And then Tyson Chandler was like a budget version of Dikembe. This is actually one of the better Season 1 packs. It really is. It's not going into playoff dimers. The playoff underdogs is going into C tier. It is definitely going into C tier. Okay, then we have got the out of positions. So out of position 1. Out of position 1 had Grant Hill, who was really good. Webber, who was mediocre. Kobe was mediocre. Magic Johnson wasn't great. KD was exceptional. And LaMelo Ball. I think because you have the best point guard in the game and a lot of good players around, I'm going to put out of position 1 in... For its time, this was a really hyped set as well. For its time, out of position 1 is going to go into A tier. Okay, then we get out of position 2. Now, this is the most interesting of the out of position sets, in my opinion. Because you got point guard Giannis. Point guard LeBron was okay. We got Josh Smith, who was exceptional. Larry, who was great on next gen. Simmons, who was great. Nick Batum. Luka Doncic, who was a TTO god. And Boris Diaw. Like, I'm putting... Like, this is going into S tier. The amount... Like, yeah, it was known as a 6'9" point guard set. But, I mean... Before this, we didn't really have that many giant cheap point guards. And then there was a ton of them. So, I'm going to put out of position 2 in S tier. Out of position 3... Now, this is a weird one because there's some of my favorite cards are in this set. But, like, were any of these guys at point guard except for Andre Caroline got better than Nick Batum on next gen? Maybe not. This was getting a lot of... This was basically just a copy-paste of out of position 2. Giannis versus AK. I think AK was better. Cliff Robinson was fantastic for me. But, like, I'm putting... Because we already had all the Giants, and I really think the only cards that were really relevant in position 3 ended up being AK, and for me, Cliff Robinson. And they have Manute Bol, so I'm gonna go A tier for out of position 3. but it's close. It's really, really close. Like, I would consider putting it in the lower tier. Adaptation 4. I loved Hito, but most of this set are just top point. This entire set is 6'8/6'9 point guys except for GTS. So I'm actually going to, as much as I love Hito, and with the fact that we already had all these giant point guards, and we literally just got a set of giant point guards, except for Theus, who everyone hated. Every other card was a giant point guard. Like what? I'm putting out of position 4 in D tier. I think there was a bit of hype. I think it was a terrible set. I think it was a terrible, terrible set. But again, that is just me. That is just me. Then we've got Out of This World. And I didn't use the Space Jam, so I'm going to put Out of This World and Space Jam together. And this entire set was just like another tactical downgrade set with Sean Bradley. I mean, it was, as well as the Space Jam cards, there was a lot of good cheap Dark Matters and stuff. I think it would be wrong to put Out of This World below B tier, but I'm putting it in B tier. I don't think it was the most exceptional pack drop we had ever seen, honestly. Okay, then we got Pantheon, the original Pantheon. So the original Pantheon had D'Lo, who was great for budget players. Kyrie wasn't great. Eddie Curry wasn't great. Lamar was terrible. Dikembe was actually alright. Trey was bad. Clarkson and Barnes ended up being limited gods. Scotty was okay. Chris Bosh was okay. Kobe was good for his time. I think it was more hype than it was good, though, this set. I'm going to put this set in B tier. I get it. Kobe was great. But Kobe was the only card that we saw in this set and thought, yeah, this card is great. So I'm going to put the first Pantheon in B tier. I know it might be a bit harsh. It definitely doesn't belong in S tier. I think that might be a little bit harsh, though, for Pantheon. The first one. So Pantheon All-Star. Okay, trying to think who was good. I mean, I didn't use Legler, but he was okay. Magic Johnson was alright, but he couldn't run on current gen. Paul George was great, and these guys were a little bit overrated. But for the fact he was the first Dark Matters, and Paul George was great, didn't really give him much except for Kemp to budget players, though. I'm going to Pantheon All-Star in A tier. Yeah, I think Pantheon All-Star probably belongs in A tier. It was a decent batch. It really was a decent batch. But then we got Team USA Pantheon. This is the best set we've had this year, in my opinion. All got basically lowered the price of basically everyone. Most cards that had Invincibles suddenly got a card in this set that were as good. This is either the best or up there. Actually, no. There's a better set, but this is probably a close second. Team USA, Pantheon, S. Absolutely S tier for Pantheon. I'm actually going to bring Flash 8 down. As much as I like Flash 8, I'm going to bring Flash 8 down. One. I'm going to keep Flash 3 up there. I'm going to keep... Do I keep Flash 9? Let's see to check which one Flash 8 and Flash 9 were again. Was Flash 9 the one with like Paul George? Yeah, I can't not move Flash 9. Flash 9 deserves to be there. So yeah. Give me Flash 8 down one. Okay, then we got Possessed. Possessed had a good lock-in reward. I didn't mind Jimmy Butler. These two Emeralds were pretty good. Like, Thorough wasn't good. Hampton was not in the Possessed set. Mitchell was okay. Kawhi wasn't good. David West was okay. Amari was okay. T-Mac was a glass cannon. He couldn't play defense. So yeah, I'm going to put Possessed. C tier. It had a good reward, but I think C tier is probably the most fair spot for Possessed, honestly. Not bad by any means, but I think just out of fairness, I'm going to go C tier for Possessed. Okay, so next up after Possessed, we have got Quantum. So the Quantum set. This set had Luka, Kevin Durant, Lamar Odom, Karl Malone, Gerald Wallace, not Shane Battier, Anthony Davis. Was Andre Iguodala in the Quantum set? Nope. Let's say I was like, I don't remember that card. Diaz though was alright. Crozier, Felipe Lopez. Drazen was okay. This set for its time changed the game. This was a game-changing set. So Quantum is going all the way up to S tier. Quantum, one of the best sets this year. Quantum belongs in S tier. No question about that. Quantum belongs in S tier. Quantum was incredible. And we got Radioactive. So Radioactive had Yuta, which was obviously iconic. Thad Young was good. Yao was a tactical downgrade. Jalen Rose did not come out in Radioactive. Wade was basically the exact same card as his Opals. If you didn't get the Opal Wade, you could use this. Lionel Simmons Beast Clem was good. CB3 was awful. Mark Eaton wasn't good. AK, though, these four were brilliant. So, I mean, I'm going to put this one top of A. It might get moved into S tier. It really might get moved into S tier, but I'm going to keep this one top of A right now. So then we got Retro 2K, which had very, surprisingly, very few good cards. Like, can we just say that? It had surprisingly few good cards. There are very few good cards that came out of the retro set. Like, really not that many good cards. For 3 batches of retros, I'm going to put retros in B. Wasn't all bad, but I mean, there was a lot of bad. Okay, season tip-off, Series 1 East. Larry Bird, Allen Houston, Derrick Rose, Rick Smits, Stick God, Bill Lambier, Mo Cheeks, Gold, the guy that carried us even in July in the Gold vs Invincible challenges. Richard Jefferson was great. Season tip-off, Season 1 Eastern Conference is S tier. No doubt about it. Season tip-off, Season 1 Eastern Conference is S tier. This was one of the best sets we've ever seen to start a year. Season tip-off, Season 1 West. Hakeem was not good. Money Mitch was good. Bibby was okay. Gus was good. I mean, Page was alright, but none of these guys were great. Bray actually ended up being okay down the stretch. But not even close to West. To East. So I'm going to put in C tier. It's, I believe, season tip-off, season tip-off, Season 1. Yeah. Let's go on that dude. Then we get East for Season 2. And Coleman was okay. Smith, you need the badge up. Bargnani was the most relevant player in this set. Like, this is going into D tier. Let's go into D tier. And then West. Honestly, West didn't have too much else either. Like, West might have been worse. Like, Buddy was mediocre. Like, Worthy was okay. No one really used Worthy, though. Like, West is going D tier as well. It's not quite F tier, but it's going D tier. Okay, then we got Splash Zone. Splash Zone had arguably the best lock-in reward in the game, Bull. Had the Gatekeeper, who was a good card. Weber was incredible. Zachary was incredible. The Pink Diamond, Thibault, and Bagley were good. The Opals were all pretty good. I'm going to go A tier with Splash Zone. Splash Zone definitely does not make it make S tier, even with the Bull reward, but I think A tier is a fair spot for them. And then we've got all of the moments of the Throwback Moments cards. So I'm just going to quickly breeze through these. So Atlantic, shocking. Absolutely shocking set. F tier for Atlantic. Okay, so then we have got Central. Ben Gordon was good. And Junior Bridgeman was not bad at all. Central, C tier. This was not an awful batch. This really was not an awful batch. And Ilyasova was really nice for budget players as well. Northwest. Sigma was good. Corey Brewer was actually okay for budget players. Chambers had an Evo, but he was terrible. Basketball John kind of sucked. Not as bad as the first one. Not as good as the second one. Northwest getting to D tier. Then we have got Pacific. Pacific had Mitch Richmond, Bob McAdoo, Gilbert Arenas, Charlie Scott, and Smush. This was a surprisingly good... This was the last one that was released. Money Mitch was actually alright, and Smush Parker was good. But Chris Kamen, Lock-In Reward, puts this right down here into F tier. I don't even know what I would do with Season Rewind cards. I really don't. But, they're just not here, I guess. Southeast. Joe Caldwell was good. Beal kind of sucked. Morning kind of sucked. Jameer Nelson kind of sucked. Southeast, get into F tier. Then we have got Southwest. Southwest was... Randall was not terrible. Rudy Tomjanovic was really good. Manny wasn't great. Marcus All, Steve Francis, not great. So I'm going to go D tier with that. And last up, what was the best set of the year? The answer is Warped Reality. Warped Reality came out at the end of April. Arguably the 3 best Amethyst cards in the game. Pressure Chua is so underrated for me. Sim Vular, who was basically the same as the Tackle Fall card that came out at the start of that season. The best cheap point guard in the game for his time, Justice Winslow. The best cheap center in the game for his time, Manu Ginobili. The best player in the game for his time, Bol Bol. It's between him and Ferry. Corver was not terrible. Caruso was not terrible. Like the worst card in the set was Sim, who was not bad. Obviously, Dikembe doesn't count. If Dikembe did count, the set would be even better. Penny, Kuz. Actually, no, Steph might be the least relevant player in this entire set, and Steph could dunk. In a no-brainer, Warped Reality is not only going to S tier, it's topping S tier. So anyway, that is the video. The one set I'm really iffy on. I don't know whether to move Radioactive up to S or not. I'm gonna keep Radioactive in A, but I mean it's a tight one. It is a really, really tight one, lads. So that is it, lads. That is the video. We've done it. We have done it, lads. We have rated every single promo. Who said I couldn't think of anything else to make tier lists out of? So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
I think you only love me cause I'm poppin'. This a layup, this a rebound, then it's robbing. Tyson with the fade, not the hair, my hands rocking. When I link with ball point, you know it's not.